Well, in many ways, it was the right game for the Ospreys and the wrong game for the Scarlets, you know. So I've had a little look at the game plan that they went into the game with. And they went very direct, you know. They tried to reduce their error count that they've had in the first 3 weeks, and very direct from set piece, and then pick and go in and around the fringes, getting the big men into the game. It brings the backs then to flash into this other side. Coming off nice and short with people like Richard Hibberd, Alan Wynne-Jones, who were immense in that second half. And again, off set piece, hitting up the likes of Andrew Bishop, who again had a solid ball carrying game, and the forwards you see following in, picking and going, and just attacking the fringes of the Scarlets defence, opening up this blind side again to come down with the likes of Richard Fussell and Daniel Biggar. Now, if Khan Fortuali had a big game, Alan Wynne-Jones carried and led well, and when Ryan Jones came on, he was just immense. But it allowed Daniel Biggar to control the game with his kicking game and moving on to the ball, and Hanno Dirksen was always a threat. And I think in terms of the 10s, Daniel won that battle on the night. Mm-hmm. Well, he looks really comfortable, Ross, to be fair. And it's not just the normal outside half type things that you'd expect, you know. He's challenging the line and taking the line on, but he's getting back and making try-saving tackles. He's hitting rucks. You know, his kicking game needs to improve a little bit, but he's got plenty of time for that. But he's in the game and he's oozing confidence, you know, the skill levels he's showing and the ambition. And I think that's really refreshing, you know. So he's one to watch for us already, even though he's only had a couple of games. And another one for me who produced the goods yesterday was Tom James. I had a bit of a pop at him a few weeks ago for not finishing things. He's looking electric at the moment. He's cutting the line, he's counter-attacking well. And yesterday, he didn't give those risky offloads or make those errors. He just hung on to the ball, let them go through another phase. And I think he's looking sharp.
Yeah,
there's just a little naivety about the Blues at times, that's all. You know, and it probably comes from a young 8 yesterday and a young 10. The Scrum V, Copeland was told to use it by the ref. If he had kept that in, he had no right to use it, really. They may have scored on another occasion. And Patchell at times, but, you know, it's refreshing and they'll only improve.
And in the way he plays the game.
I think he's far more of a footballer. You know, you'll see Justin around the field. He'll score you tries, you know. Sam does hard yards, you know. They're very similar over the tackle. I think Sam's a little bit stronger, but Justin's a little bit more cute. But it's interesting what you say about the Lions and Sam being the favourite for the Lions. When you look at the other countries, you look at Ireland's back row, have they got an out-and-out 7? You look at England's Rob Shaw, he's a 6.5, 7, very effective. And you look at Scotland, John Barkley, their prime 7, is playing 6 for Glasgow, you know, because they've got Passaro. So who's to say we couldn't have 2 Welsh 7s in the Lions setup?
Yeah.
Well, Rob Appleyard will have a sleepless weekend because he'll be very disappointed with some of those tries and some of the efforts and the tackles, I'm sure. You know, some of the blitz defence isn't committed enough, and we'll see here from this first phase. If you're going to blitz, you have to go full out. And there's no way a team should get in the outside channels of a first phase blitz, let alone score from it. So he'll be extremely disappointed. I'm sure he'll have a right pop of them this week. But in terms of overall of the Dragons, I think, you know, here's another example. They've got to keep going. You've got to keep going. I have a saying, you're 100% right or 100% wrong, and they're just defending too differently. And they are soft tries that they're conceding. But in terms of the overall Dragons of the last 3 weeks, I think, you know, it's fine beating Zebra by 30 points at home and saving some of your big performances for the derby matches at home. But you have to go to places like Thomond and start challenging now. You have to front up. You have to go and make your tackles and at least make it difficult for them, because they are tricky places to go. And unfortunately, the table's starting to take a bit of a familiar shape down there with the Italians, the Dragons and Connacht. And I think we need to see an improvement.
Phillips on the pitch.
No, he's one of the most competitive animals I've ever coached, and he's a very different player, unique player. You know, he's perhaps, in some people's opinion, not the best scrum half in the world, but he's one of the best rugby players. And once he crosses that white line, yeah, he'll want to win anything, to be fair to him. Well, I think so. We've heard very little, haven't we, from the first meeting, and I believe there's another one now in October the 8th. And it does give us a little bit of hope because, you know, for us here, you know, in the Pro 12, we want to see our teams in the Heineken Cup playing against the best teams. There's nothing worse than having a competition without your French and English or both. So there's hope that they are supporting it. It seems to be money-driven yet again. You know, BT Vision's offer is enormous, and it ties in the Aviva Premiership. And Kings would know a lot about this. That you know, the way Sky do it at the moment is pretty good. But with BT Vision's money, who know where they can take it? So it's a bit of a worry. Let's just hope we can stick in there and fight our corner in October.